Okay, Mama Chi-Chi is coming, like, don't worry about that. But one really good piece of information that you have to understand is literally, okay, so Mama Chi-Chi will be 1 hour long, just like Armando. So like literally, and Juvia, aka Aquafina, my main girlfriend, is gonna be an hour long too. So season 2 is still going on, if you're wondering. And so like literally, each and every one of the major, pinpoints, like literally, so Juvia in my mom's video is gonna be 1 hour long, and it's going to really have great haymakers. Auntie Lisa, Ernest takes this Robert T. Tight goat thing too seriously. Anytime back with Maya, I'm like, I made you breakfast, my daughter was like, Ernest, I just woke up. But seriously, lately, Aquafina's video is coming up as well, so it's really, some really good things, popping. So you have to understand, this is, MT's good update. This is a Nonz update. This is the season 2 update of, what's going on with MT's channel, what's going on with Moon Tricks' channel, all this shit and that, So this is literally the new, arc slash, movie for Nonz. It's starring Iko Saka. So who is Iko Saka? Iko Saka is based off, I think Iruka or, freaking the original Naruto, teacher. Watertree was a snake like Ibuki. Yeah, I'm a very heavy Masashi Kishimoto fan, and I know a lot about the cartoon, like the ins and outs. Without reading manga, I am a bigger, like Naruto fan than some other people, because I understand the invincibility aspect of Naruto. I understand what Kishimoto was was really trying to portray, like the Sith Lord and stuff like that. Like, I understand the underdog writing because I know Vibe. Vibe is really good for going out to parties and clubs, like me and women, stuff like that. Vibe is how you get her interested without talking and stuff like that. Like, you just have the swag and stuff like that. You still gotta do movement, but you gotta do precise movement in order to make her react. Like, really. And you ever say, yo, we need a storm? It's like you tomorrow. Like, thanks. You move the exact way I want you to. But, like, yeah. So, like, what's the day? So, like, really. So, like, women are really out there. But, like, really, back to Nonz, like, really, Iko Saka is a jealous man where really is basically Iruka with a Donzo complex who's literally just going around just fucking shit up. Like, he's based off Zarbard from Dragon Ball Z, but he's gay in his demeanor, but he's really out there when it comes to like his frequently following this. So what this is gonna be Tofu's arc. He's gonna be like one of the main villains of Tofu's arc. He's gonna be a backup villain. So he's based off Kabuto's role and Ruka and all that. He's a very heavily layered, but he's even more layered because this is lately why Avatar was a shout out for Naruto. What Avatar was supposed to be it was supposed to be the Nickelodeon version of Naruto. If you don't think so, like I'm telling you right here and there, Jiraiya and Naruto, Zuko and Iroh and all that shit like me and Okujay, I tell you, through word about this shit grew over time. Not just me, this was a blockbuster effect that had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with Dragon Ball Z being the highest thing in the block, and we were trying to replicate anime. There were people, and so what Chris did, this is literally what happened to Chris generation. This is what I'm doing for Chris generation. This is like literally referencing like why we have to adapt and why we have to really be cool like Top. Understand why Top is cool instead of just look at her at badass aspect of Lily. People think that Top is Buttercup. Do you know who Buttercup is? I'm a cartoon fan because I listen to Mr. Enter and I listen to Swag Kage and Geek the 101. So I'm up there where it comes to Nonz of animation criteria. So you know what really Buttercup is? Buttercup is a tomboy with no substance. Yumi from Kolyoko, however, is a tomboy with substance. So you have to understand like Lily. Top is a tomboy with a lot of substance, but we pretend like she's just blind and stuff like that. But there's a category to the Top character I can tell you about. Top is very aware of the situation, even though like Lizzie, her character was blind. She's very aware. So you really see her way throughout a lot of problems, and that's the part of her writing. And they took shots at the Byakugan, but don't think that they did. They did a whole lot of funny shit. I know everything about Avatar: Last Airbender, threw it out the fucking sand arc. Really references everything about Konoha. This was devastating because the Fire Nations and the Kage villages are set up the same. So out of school, there's basically and what you see is what you get because people. What happened was Chris had this effect on the world that really, it didn't matter what on and shit like that, but then they'll fall back on criteria like, oh, Avatar is actually like really referencing Chinese lore, and really, you're not a true anime fan if you don't watch Avatar in anime because you don't understand the lore of Zuko. So I'm not talking shit, and like really, you have to understand that like really, what they're doing is that they're falling back on cringe, like really when they're trying to be dating, when they film on being dating, they fall back on cringe, but they be dating for a second, and I be calling nerds out on that today, like really, Frankie, like you know how Frankie is obsessed with Shinobu, and literally how he's white and shit like that, and how like literally, and how I can get away with saying he's black because he picks Shinobu as his profile picture. Oh, well, hold up, that's a girl choice. Oh, when Shinobu was gonna drift out, he's just a little kid. Like literally, he saw something shiny and he put it for his profile picture. He has to be high status. It's nothing like me. I actually know how to be Shinobu in and out. Like, literally, I have a Shinobu obsession, and it's not unhealthy. You get what I'm saying? His is unhealthy because I like other shit. And like literally, if it wasn't for me, Shinobu wouldn't even fucking exist. And I would pipe her down each and every cosplayer. Because you know why? Not only am I gonna give birth to many Nezuko's, I'm going to literally show you like literally, I also gave birth to this thing called Demon Slayer. Do you understand, literally, nerds? You do not want me to pick Shinobu as my profile picture. This is this shit I'm gonna come at you with. I'm gonna fry you like eggs in the skillet and shit. Do you understand? Literally, this is the shit that I can do to you, but this is the shit that I choose not to because I'm a grown man. I understand that anime is for 15 and like under. This is a really, really concrete video, but this is really very essential because this is the whole point of Iko Saka's character. I'm gonna give you somebody who's gonna replicate the exact feel of Part 1 Naruto, but understand he's in an environment that makes him critically mentally ill. So what he's flip-flopping off his goals, but he comes up with these seven plans, and he always falls because he's always flimsy. He's wobbly like water and shit like that, but he's a snake. So Iko Saka is based off like literally Ibuki and Iruka, and like literally he's a pale guy with a ponytail on top, just like Iruka. So like literally what he does is like literally he infiltrates Bayaki, you know, literally like. Not Bayaki, but Toku's village. He's still kind of like a ninja scroll or an ancient aspect. He starts going crazy, but he learns how to be a drug like Moses Jones and go in and out and learn information about people's anatomy and shit. And then he goes out, but he always falls because he's fucking flimsy. He's not physically fit. And even though he's skilled as a ninja, like really he's crafty, really he can never really get up there because he's too obsessed with his own beauty and his own like image and shit. And he understands to like fails to realize how much of a bag he really is. Like really how immoral he really fucking is. And really fucking silly like fucking techniques. He steals everybody's fucking techniques, but then he makes them sick like fucking germs and shit. Like he's really crafty going in and out. So Iko Saka is based off really what cringe holds on to. Like literally, this is like literally the opinion of cringe. Literally, this is the dang image of cringe. Like this is literally what you're gonna turn into. Like literally, if you don't like literally get some standards, if you rely on strategy with no morals, no self-character, like literally, and nothing like literally. So like literally, what he is he became the water. If you watch Bruce Lee and like literally, you understand the water, it became the cup, he became the bullshit. So he was able to fluctuate everything in his fucking mouth because he learned how to do his bullshit correctly. Like he became literally the end out. He's a Naruto like character who says other people's techniques and literally most of you can't really predict this shit because he's very fucking crafty because he resorts to doing shit that nobody with morals can do. So he's the ultimate, fucking staking it out. But at the end of the arc we have Taiko Simpson, the real reference to Kabuto in the Nonz manga, being the fuck out of Iko Saka literally after he ends up fooling everyone, he's like, do you really feel like you can fool me with my own fighting style? And Taiko literally beats the fuck out of Iko Saka. That's how the arc ends, and that's how the movie ends if you want to know, if you're wondering, because really, that's who he's based on, because he's doing Kabuto like shit, but he's not gaining Kabuto like skill, nor discipline, nor meditation. And literally, he didn't understand what it took to actually be high tier. Like literally, he's fucking Iruka if you learn to save the 6 fast power. Like literally, this, that, literally. Not to say it's in fact really, like Iruka if he stole fucking Donzo Sharingan and shit. Weak as fuck. Like really going in and out lately. That fucking he's really crazy. So Iko Saka is really a reference to Saka, and where so I know a whole lot about people. I know a whole lot about wrestling culture, and the whole reason why people are so confused. Why is anime so dank? Why is My Hero Academia so dank and shit? Why is this and that? Because Japan is still a wrestling country. The United States of America, a wrestling country. We both like dank shit. We both like the same shit. I'm sorry to reveal this to you, but we're not too far apart at all. So like really, in terms of our views, in terms of everything, you guys are idiots because like really, if then they try like they think that cringe is political and say like recognize this country Japan, you're still forgetting that really I'm human, and the majority of the ways you get girls is kind of thinking like literally how being Japan thinks, like literally fucking this is not literally fucking like literally I like what I see, what's the problem and stuff like that, why add on drama and stuff like that, oh let me help out, and this is not literally, that is the way, literally the Hashira way is of Japan and stuff like that, like literally freaking, that's why there's so many people who dedicate their lives to the anime studio. You know how underpaid people are in manga anime studios, it's a passion more than it is profit, and that's the whole point of having soul in Japan, and that's why anime is so good, is because literally they get under underpaid, but they don't care because of the product that they're making and how much they're paying for people. They're really for people more than themselves in Japan. That's a really good lifestyle. So I know that. So let's go into what I know about Avatar: The Last Airbender and how it actually really hit aspects from the Western culture that it was supposed to be aimed for African Americans to understand a certain aspect of life in order for them to stop being cowardly. That's the whole point of Avatar: The Last Airbender, is to like understand that what you see is what you get, and that really in order to be cool like Zuko, you have to really give it your all or understand why it's not worth it, and you need to stop giving the fuck, and then you get kisses like bad bitches from Qatar and shit. Sorry, that's how life works and shit like that. You're a fucking asshole. I tried to be a good person, this and that. I ended up really being stronger than my dad, and it wasn't fucking worth it. I gave that nigga the fucking angry shit. That's what's going to fucking Zuko's body. Like, I don't give a fuck about nothing. What is the meaning of life, nigga? I already fucking reached my fucking life goal. What is the fucking meaning and shit? That is what you understand really if I'm thinking like really when you grow up and really, especially when you read Gucci. Sorry, I'm really being hard to be a leader. This guy is scored emotionally, and you guys see it as a drama. They think about how badass Zuko is instead of the emotional trauma that he went through. They think that emotional trauma is a joke. He's like, you don't understand. Zuko's a man of beneath troubles in his mind and emotional trauma, and somebody who hasn't been deprived, and they all blame him from his fucking daddy and shit. Like, no, fuck that shit. Literally, he could have made a fucking baby with Qatar. Then he could have been daddy himself. You don't understand the multiple street messages that were written in that fucking show. You act like that wasn't big as shit. The bitch literally chose for him to be stuck in a fucking cave where nobody's looking, decided to make out with the nigga. Sorry, that bitch was a hoe. That bitch was a freak. Qatar is where as fuck. Sorry. This whole arc is based off why Avatar: The Last Airbender were street smart, but you were street smart in the way that's letting you know that really the journey of a gangster is like really what everybody goes through, but it's not really essential for like you to live life. You choose your own path to life, really. No matter if you go this and that, but whether you choose to go your own path or not, you have to be strong. And that is the being of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like really standing up to evil, getting strong enough to be evil, but also understanding like you know what, really, I'm just gonna like really live my own life, really, after dealing with all this other shit, but like literally Avatar like The Last Airbender is the fucking shit, and I don't need to watch every episode and like so what the new fucking cringe generation does today is like they like to take shit like Eris. You don't understand what Avatar means, and that's why you're afraid to watch it as an adult. They gave their criticism that I know now for watching Mr. Edgar and shit. Like you don't know how to critique a cartoon correctly. Like you didn't know what was wrong with a one Powerpuff Girls episode, and you didn't know why Eddie got played out. You didn't know the fucking rules of the seas and what the writer's intention was and how the writer was going to personal shit. And like this now they really hitting me on like media from the criteria shit like but really that is not essential part for sale. That's essential if you want to be high tier, but not if you're trying to be captain. That's essentially not the fucking way you teach somebody when they have to take baby steps in order to like really learn their trait in general. So like literally it's a fucking like fuck world and shit, and then they fall back on Zuko like really, well maybe if you understood the Chinese lore that they're fucking referencing, you're understanding what Avatar is really deep in that, and that maybe some of their emotions and some of the charts and some of the maps symbolize really emotions through yin yang symbols with different colors, like really different modes and shit based off different kanjis. You don't know anything about Chinese kanjis or symbols and shit like that. Like, it's not really like you don't know this fucking like really building is shaped like this actual fucking ancestor and shit like that. They hit this like that. When I watch that with Pro, all I see is nigga shit. All I see is badass talk. All I see is a fine bitch for people that's really not getting raped. I'm like, what the fuck? They're like, literally, and that is literally. I'm telling you, and then they fall back saying that literally it's a complex world and shit like that. I'm like, you are literally, you're trying to literally, you just got caught being a nerd, and then you're gonna fall back on something you then call it historical and try to say that it's dank. I'm sorry. No, I'm done. Like, literally, you're just trying to school me like a teacher and then claim that you were dank. Like, you are out there. You are 100% out there. Like, literally, just that you are literally the student thinking that you're the master Tory for fucking 7 because Prince gives you this entry fee. Like, literally, it gives you literally, you know what happens to chickens, like, literally, when they become, like, literally, a bunch, they get lambs to the slaughter. Literally, you are that where it comes to your mind. They kill your mind at a young age. You don't ever have to think about, like, literally, dealing with, like, literally, reverse psychology ever in your life, like literally, and that's really bad, but it's not literally. Some people can actually like literally raise their kids like literally fucking like literally see past that shit. That's what happens when you go for a good neighborhood. Like, literally. Some people don't have to choose that, but you know, like some people like literally will make their way like literally. It's crazy. That's why some people will make your life easier. So like literally, somebody told me one day literally when I was walking struggling to get a job, this like literally this really nice Mexican guy literally Lily told me, like, Lily, well, I was talking to me, he's like, I'll give you a hint. Do something good for somebody, add true attention, and then world will reward you. Lily, you do something good because I was lost and I was asking for directions. So after he gave me directions, he gave me speeches like, I'll give you a hint, you're stuck right now. Do something good for somebody and God will reward you. But don't do it because you want something in return. Actually think about it. Like somebody walked down the street, comment on their outfit. It's really, really like that. It's really, really outstanding. That Avatar still has those things. It still has that Chinese folklore. It still has everything good. It still has all those elements to them. But understand that's the undertone for writing. That's something. That's a nimble aspect of the writing that I'm expanding on in order to let you know, like, Lily, what the secret messages are, Lily, behind the culture. Like, cause Top is Lily. What Top is a girl that's based off a transvestite community. That's really giving us shout out. It's a reverse psychology. No such thing as a Top exists in real life. Girls are heaven driven by their hormones and emotions, like, Lily, in real life. If you wouldn't understand. That's why they have such unbelievable standards and shit like that. Like, Lily, even Top would fall for their popular shit in real life. Lily, Top would, like, Lily, run around with fucking diaper on her head. Lily, it just to fit in. Even though she's fucking blind and shit, like, Lily, she'll be confused that I fucking boob is a dick. Lily, that's what fucking Top is. Lily, Top is literally a girl that Lily will really be really manhandled by a dude that really knows what he's fucking doing. Even though Lily, she claims to be a sufferer. We will break Buttercup when we grow up. Sorry, that's the truth behind this. Like, Lily, that is exactly who Top is. Top is literally somebody who I know is a freak in real life, but is the perfect tomboy in the show. And that is literally what I know is that Lily first thing and then Lily. And they think that this shit is clever. Oh, they bring Top back. They make every single Lily Avatar character in the first season irrelevant compared to Top. I'm like, of course they brought Top back, Lily. That was the best original aspect. And people are thinking about Lily once he references the reverse psychology of don't judge a book by its cover. Oh, fucking Top is the new Helen Keller and shit. Like, no, fucking Top is literally just like you and fucking me. Like, Lily, you don't understand me. We have nacho chip soccer, so that's who ego soccer is. The reverse psychology that, oh, he's gonna be their friend zone friend forever. And Lily, soccer's gonna turn to Rangers one day, buddy. Soccer's gonna Lily go back on his word like every fucking bitch they burn does because he's not strong and all he does is play video games or his little sister is growing up going to school. Sorry, he's being an irresponsible ass brother. Sorry, that's gonna happen, Lily. I'm not saying that Lily to fucking target people, but soccer is that way in real life. That's the stereotype. That's all the stereotypes. That's why I listen to this cartoon. That's not made for you to know. That's made for you to understand that Lily in the future, Lily, yo, this is what it's based off of. But this is why they make the best of the situation. It never gets to that point in the show because you can't live black in a beautiful way. But you gotta understand that shit exists. You have to be strong to protect your children from rape. You have to be strong to be this, that. You have to be really strong, Lily, to not fall for like Lily manipulation, not fall for Lily just because it's one job that Lily, you can't move on to the next. You can't fuck up your criminal record, Lily, trying to fit in, Lily, oh, I get jobs easier this way, shit like that, then fall for like Lily, and then not get paid big at all, shit like that, Lily. You gotta make really good decisions in life, Lily. For a lot of parents, like, you know, nowadays, really fucked up when they were younger, but Lily having experience of going in and out, like, pure adventures and shit, and like, Lily, it's crazy, but Lily, that's only because I'm cold. I had the chance to Lily think about this shit. I'm like, I'm done, because Marcel and the air around references Top so much. I'm telling you, Top can be Gara. Lily, she can take the material the fucking Gara's made out of and shit, and Lily, then she ends up ringing fucking, that was like fucking, like, Lily, a conversation that we had in the air realm before, and Marcel is obsessed with Top in the air realm. Like, Lily, Marcel, the weekly stream guy, is obsessed with Top. Like, Lily, nigga, you think everything's back in the day Nickelodeon. So here's one thing that happened, like, Lily, how I came up with Tofu and Nonz in general was I was thinking about Top and Fu. Like, Lily, I was playing Peter and Storm, and I think Fu looks like Lily, like an Avatar Last Ember. She looks like an Avatar. She's like, what? I don't think she looks like an Avatar. More like fairy does and shit like that. That's a fucking, like, Lily, that's a nerd. Like, Lily, she looks like a fairy more than an Avatar. Like, Fu doesn't look like a fairy and stuff like that. It's like Eris, this is why you're a Reeve. And that hurts a lot because, Lily, that's fucking actually referencing the quote. That's lore, Lily. When he says that Fu looks like a butterfly more than she looks like a gangster with sleeves, that's a nerd versus me, who's an actual, you know, like, fan of anime, Lily. I'm like, dude, this is like, I think about Top, Lily. That's what you call, you know, Lily. That's his visionary right then and there. But Lily, when I thought about Fu, I thought about Top. I thought about Lily. Well, like, Lily, and when I saw Earthbenders like Chitsukage, like Lily, when I saw Lily Fu, like Lily playing with Fu and the Chitsukage and shit like that, Lily, I thought about Avatar and shit. He's like, I don't see Avatar, I think about fairies. I'm like, no, Fu reminds me of Top. He's like, how? I'm like, Lily, because he has green hair and like Lily, fucking like Lily, and the ambience Lily, and the cream sleeves and like Lily, and fucking, and Top has cream eyes, Lily, a cream fucking shirt and shit like that, and green fucking exteriors. Sorry, it's the same fucking shit like Lily. That's what you call an after image. They have the same after image, and that's why I created Token, because what you see is what you get, and you cool girls that way. That's where you cool girls in real life. Oh, what you thinking is not thinking. Oh yeah, we're gonna roll through. We're gonna start grinding. We're gonna start bumping to this fucking music and shit like that. Instead of fucking popping kids, oh fucking you listen to BF to beat with those substances. Man, me and her are both on. Just probably her ass is on my dick. Sorry. So Jukebox C, Eco Soccer, and that's all based on the village. So this is fusing Avatar with the, the Kage village. The original intention of Avatar, The Last Airbender, that is what this arc is based off of. The Lily, so Lily goodbye, and they all fuck him up, and then Taiko fucks him up at the end. But he ends up escaping. He's escaping like Sangelica, but he's pulling snake shit. Let me shoot it. He's instead of being admiral with her, he's really being nasty. So he's based off Zarbon. Lily, what if Zarbon like Lily learned how to like duck in and out, but he had to face Beerus eventually. That is who this guy is. So it's really cool. So the Eco Soccer special like will be our arc in Nonz, like it's like really. So I'm adding a whole lot of unity to Nonz really, because this is kind of like a traveling arc. There's things like they're called traveling arcs in Nonz, like really, where you go to certain places, like literally learn certain attributes about people, dealing really, you get power ups in order to go to the next major arc. So there are many arcs and arcs in Nonz. So that's how we can stretch this out. And this is just like Teen Titans, like when we're able to establish like Naruto storylines within 63 episodes. That's what Nonz is going to be. But it's also going to have good filler episodes. Like Ronnie talking shit to goodbye or one filler episode. We have definitely room for that one, but we're definitely getting big and more combat stories in with less than time. Like this, like the short arc is gonna be right before the big outfight, like where Hurricane kick, right before the Sea Frostbite, right before the White Frostbite. They gotta go back to the Nonz playlist, the chapter breakdowns playlist, and you're going to understand that Lily, that fucking like Lily. Dark Frostbite is a really big heavy villain, and like Lily, and before they get their Frostbite, they see Hurricane Kick in his city, and they're introduced to him and his grandma and shit like that. And then like Lily fucking after that, Lily they go. So like Lily, the Hurricane Kick concept is going to go like in between like Lily arcs, so you understand each and every character is, so every single fucking power up is relevant and shit like Lily. But in that case, we cannot add the meme uses at the beginning of Nonz. The meme uses will probably be used for like Nonz times 1. It's just because their powers are really irrelevant, and we have to be able to fit the time skip. So if you want to know the truth about Nonz and like the ending of the first Nonz, it's going to be a Sasuke retriever arc time skip. And Lily, that is the truth of Nonz. And so Lily, I'm not gonna tell you how it happens, because how it happens is completely different and completely phenomenal and multi-dimensional that you're never gonna understand. But it gets in the way of the meme users. That's when Nonz was organic. That's when Nonz was more tree instead of all this fucking projection users and shit. So like Lily fucking, this is where Boomer fights Goodbye at the end of the season 1, and so really before we have the time skip. So that is Lily how the first Nonz goes. So like Lily, Baku plot story, everyone Lily up in Kami High, but Lily, there's a way we can fit him in, but Lily, we have to make sure Boomer's not there. And so I specifically wrote Kami High in order for Boomer to be there with skills and shit. So there's a way, like Lily, there's a conflict in the Nonz storyline because of the new continuity, but it's not a big one because I can introduce skills in Magashi, but I can't have the player major role when it comes to a time skip. I can do this thing like when they're separated, like with skills is like Lily on a space bar when the world's about to blow up and shit, like Lily and fucking like Lily, they all get sent to different dimensions and shit before like the time skip. I can do something like that, but I'm not going to do that because like Lily fucking that's too like Lily extreme, and like Lily, I might be saving that like Lily for a movie. But who knows, like Lily, it's really out there, because like Lily, the main aspect of this shit is really the continuity of how it was based off One Piece and the original continuity of Naruto, and Lily, it's really going to involve a lot of shit. So Lily, adding Skittles to the Sasuke retrieval arc is a no can do, so there has to be a way that we can like improvise and stuff like that. We were partially thinking of Lily having Boomer come back from the time skip, and Lily like being with skills and then have betray Miyaki again in the war of the Kami, like Lily, because there's a way that we can make Yumi Neji and Baku Black Star canon where it comes to the city arc. That's what they're training for. They're using Kami High, they're training for the war in the sea. So like there's a war at the end of Nonz times 1, basically, but I was gonna make Nonz 1, Lily, the first Nonz, Lily, super long, when we're gonna have both like the Boomer in the material and him coming back, and then he betrays it again, and then we're gonna have the time skip, and that's when Lily, we have all this shit like Lily, where Yumi Neji and Baku are fighting all these characters and sky hopping from building and building and shit. So real good use of Kami High that can't be canon, but all that shit can be put on the way because Lily, we will understand, because Lily, that's my favorite aspect of the original, but the other arcs are so much fun and stuff that this is a really, really serious arc in Nonz that I don't really want to expand upon. And I didn't spoil anything, because if you don't even know that there's an evil organization Nonz that I barely talk about, yeah, I spoiled nothing. So this is Goodbye Murioto, and this is the season 2 of Blue Trixie Shadow update, and this is also a big Nonz update.